So I missed some things on Woody, the long bed. This is going to be my last video on my long bed for a while because it's in storage in Missouri and I'm not here. So, a couple things I kind of missed I want to go over with you guys, in case you guys wondered. I did film putting that windshield in, but I did not film basically putting it in. I filmed all the putting the stainless on and stuff like that. But the window went in fine. What kind of happened whenever you put the window in is the stainless would kind of try to work its way out. And because I told you guys I kind of bent the bottom flange a little bit to let the stainless sit down in the rubber the way it should. All I kind of did is just a little rubber mallet, real soft, and kind of hammered that stainless back down a little bit. And it sits way better than my short bed stainless up here. So I'm happy with it. I will tell you, if you guys are going to do your windshield, my friend has a shop, Brandon, that you guys saw, and he said he's paid multiple people to put one of those windshields in, and they do not like it. They're not very good at it. Me either. It took at least 8-10 hours. If you ever watch the LMC videos, they have some kind of window install video. You'll see how hard it is because the guy giving the thing that should be all happy and cheery, giving instructions, he looks like he had the worst day of his life when he put the windshield in. So if you guys want to be amused, watch that video. I thought it was pretty funny. And I actually watched that video while I was waiting for my windshield at LMC. So that did not encourage me at all. And then I got home and I was like, yeah, it is 8 hours, because even that guy says it's a full day. It's just a lot of trying to work the rubber in. I don't think the rubber sits amazing in the corners. It seemed like it was way long too. It seemed like I had a couple extra inches, but in the end, it sits in there. It works. Let's see, what else I got? Oh, I got some pictures of the white walls in there. White walls in there. That truck, you know, I said I wanted to keep it original. I always liked the thin white walls on those. Those are the 235, 75, 15s, all around. They look awesome on that truck. I've thought about them on this truck, but this is my go a little faster truck. So I went with, bigger tires. I think these are 255s and then 275s in the back, 60s series. So in there I got some pictures of the white walls. Another one, the fuel issues. So I know a bunch of those videos was me just cranking it and cranking it and cranking it. After I rebuilt the car, which was crazy frustrating. Obviously I told you I ran out of gas. That was the stupidest feeling ever, when you realize that your car's not working because it's not pumping any gas, because there is no gas. But the other one that was kind of a downer in those Ford jets, and I think some of the Quadra jets that have the fuel inlet facing straight forward, it has a fuel filter in the very front of the car. But what had happened is it had sucked that filter into the carb. There's a passage that goes straight and a little bit and then cuts to the right. Well, it was so far down in there that I couldn't see it. And once I kept digging in there, eventually I got a little piece of some and just kept plucking at it, and finally this gigantic mesh like filter was stuck down in there. So the reason it wasn't running, it wasn't getting gas down in there. So that was super frustrating, because it made no sense, because I was getting gas out of my fuel pump. I was getting it up to the carb. It wasn't making sense that it wasn't coming out. So, you guys with more experience, cool. I'm sure you guys would have caught that, but I don't have a lot of experience. So, this is the things you gotta learn. So once I got that worked out, it was fine. Another one I didn't go over that much is, at first I was having some fuel leak issues on my car. What had happened is, I didn't have a measurement for where my floats needed to be, so I just kind of kept moving them around. Well, what happened is the float was too high, and too much gas was getting in there, filling up the float really high, and then it was leaking out of the linkage shafts. So once I adjusted the float, but I finally, after I'm not around my truck, I finally got a measurement. I don't remember who sent me. Someone on the truck forum who's awesome sent me a measurement of how high it needs to be. So next time I'm home, or if I ship that truck out here, which is what I hope to do, I'll adjust the floats properly, because I still am having a little bit of issues. I feel like the accelerator pump is not filling up full of gas, because it kind of bogs down and then goes. And I feel like my timing, I know some people would say your timing, or some people have said your vacuum advance, which could be it too. I can't totally remember if I put a new vacuum canister on the distributor or not. What the vacuum advance does is advances your timing. The faster you go, it pushes these weights out and advances your timing. So, I don't know. You should watch more videos. I don't want to explain all that right now. But, fuel issues training. The transmission. Wow. And the end of that video, this video, or the last Woody video, is basically the day before I go to do the 5.3 liter swap in this. So I am in a time crunch, because this is my window that I told everyone that I was going to do the LS swap. So I'm trying to get everything running, and the training's not working. So I have a bunch of thoughts on the transmission. I still don't have it working. Obviously the truck's not here, so I can't work on it. I did drive it a little bit. I drove it across the street and up and down. But the video you saw, I basically put training fluid in while it was warm. I went through all the procedures, and then I went to go take off, and I feel like it maybe filled up the radiator, as a transcooler in the radiator. Maybe it filled up that and it went low. But then I have other thoughts that maybe just from sitting so long, something happened to the torque converter. I'm still real confused. I even went back. I even took my valve body out of my transmission. Went through. I did have one valve that was kind of sticking. I did break it loose. It seemed to get worse. So I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'm really feeling like I'll pull that whole tranny apart. I've never taken a whole tranny apart. But instead of just a million times taking everything apart, putting new fluid in, which is like $40 each time. And I'm on my third batch, because every time you pull tranny fluid out, you seem to get crap in there, dirt in there. So I think if I do ship it out here, I'll pull the whole tranny out and just go to town and take it all the way apart. I think everything's fine on it. As far as wear, it looks fine. It looks amazing in there. But I have concerns about the torque converter being full of some crap, or something dried, or who knows. It just makes a weird screech, and it never really shifts into second. But before I left, I did all that valve body, and then nothing would happen. It wouldn't go into gear. It wouldn't do anything. So yay, that was fun. That's why I rode all those miles. I was going to try to get a count of miles. I have them written down somewhere for this engine swap. I seriously rode my bike probably, I don't know, 200 miles at least. Because I couldn't get that carburetor and training to work. So, you know, it is what it is. It's part of the adventure. It was fun. Oh, the other video that I have on there is, you saw me running my engine, which ran awesome, by the way. Once I got the timing right, it idles so nice. But you heard it running without exhaust. Basically, on those stock engines, your exhaust manifolds run down, and your passenger one runs, I think, under the transmission. I don't think it's over. I don't think it's got room. I think it's under the transmission and meets back up, kind of where your transmission linkage is, and then it's just one straight exhaust pipe. Well, I wanted everything to be stock, but my problem is that I use the same exhaust pipes, I think 2.5 inch or something like that I used on this truck. And so I was in the middle of doing this engine swap and doing the exhaust on the blue truck, so I didn't really film any of it, which, you know, happens obviously on these videos. It happens all the time. but I used Cherry Bomb Vortex mufflers. I have 2 on this truck, and I just have 1 on there, and it sounds good. It's quieter. That truck is not a hot rod. I actually kind of like it. Like my boss had a old Impala with a little 6-cylinder in it. Man, that thing sounds so smooth. And I kind of like that truck. You know, you don't always have to be loud. People will notice you, even if you're not loud. So that truck, I just ran the straight exhaust, and I tried to run it. I don't know how to say that. I tried to run it how it was run, except for where my muffler was located. If I had to do it again, I'd run the muffler where it was. But I tried to tuck up the muffler, but I tried to use all the existing exhaust tabs that hang down. Well, I painted all my exhaust silver. It hangs down way below the truck, which I've already mentioned is my pet peeve. And so everything, it looks old and original on that truck, and then he has this bright silver exhaust hanging off the bottom. So I would love to have painted that brown or let it rust. I don't even know. It's just, it looks a little ridiculous. But the exhaust runs out right behind the driver's tire, just like it was before. It runs up and over the axle. Hopefully, I'll get my truck sent out here, or I'm going to sell it. I'm kind of on the fence. I kind of wouldn't mind selling it. I kind of want to buy some tools. I'm trying to buy a TIG welder and a English wheel, some stuff like that. So, you know, I'm trying to grow up, buy some big boy toys. So, I have that truck. I have this truck. I drive this one all the time. But that one I don't. I'd love to keep it, but in reality, I'll probably sell it. I have a Ford, a 2000 Ford, that I might sell too. I'm ready to buy some real toys, some real tools. So an English wheel and bead roller and some stuff like that. So I'll probably be selling that truck. So if any of you guys are interested, comment or hit me up, or don't put it in the comments. Hit me up however you can do that. And I'll get in touch with you if you guys are interested. But I do have a lot of money in that truck, so brand new tires and brand new lots of stuff, like you can see in this video. But it's done right. So in a way, these 67s are getting harder to find for sure. Everyone's prices are insane, especially in California, crazy high. And that thing's mostly original paint, except for what I did. So I don't know. It's hard because I feel like I'm going to sell it, and it's going to be just like my 68. I'll regret it for a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this build series. But now I'm all caught up on videos. I'm going to go edit this last one. I'm going to finish all my ones for Buzz above me. But now I'm going to start getting more into some fabrication videos on fixing some stuff on this truck. I put a no limit rear sway bar in this truck. As a bigger front sway bar, you know, the engine swap, stuff like that. I'd like you guys to see some fabrication. Since all this old footage, I hadn't really seen until it's too late to film it again. So now I'm gonna start trying to film a lot more of me doing work instead of just talking about what I'm gonna do. But that's a lot of work as far as setting up tripods and moving your camera around, and it's a lot more work than people think. I wish I had a filmer, but I don't. So hope you guys enjoyed Woody. Awesome truck, long bed, 11,000 miles. It did run like a champ, except for shifting gears. So once I get it back, I think, you know, in a couple of days I could go through that transmission and get it all working. It's just kind of, I was moving out here and I didn't have time. So have fun. Make sure to subscribe, please. One of my goals is to get up to the 4,000 subscribers. So I need to make that happen, and none of you guys are subscribing. So please help me out. Subscribe. Let someone know. Let a friend know. Thanks.